Let me tell you about a secret that will completely change the way I travel. For the past 12 days, my friend Sam and I have been trekking the UK with just a backpack, over 4 different flights and 7 different trains. We had a lot going on. Let's dive into my number 1 travel essential, lists and writing things down. So let's talk a little bit about the background of this trip. Sam and I are what people refer to as value travelers, which means that we wait for prices to drop to their absolute lowest before we choose to book. What we're gonna do to start this video is go back to January 18th and see what things were being written down as it relates to the beginning of our trip. First, what I'll do is I'll open my twos and I will be presented with my daily list. Today is Wednesday, April the 10th. And now if I tap on the date and I go back to January, I'll be able to navigate to January 18th. And there I will see some things about how I booked a spontaneous trip to London with Sam. I have the confirmation code for our flight to make it much easier than having to dig through your email. And then I also wrote down some other random things that were happening throughout that day that I may want to remember later. So now that you've seen some of the benefits of writing things down as soon as you book your trip, let's talk a little bit about the pre-travel preparation. So 1 week after we had booked our travel, we had started to prepare all of our different itineraries within this list. At the top, we have our flights with all of the different flight numbers so that we can make sure to keep up with the times and dates. The same thing applies for our trains. Funny enough, we missed our first trains. Now I have each one of our cities that we were planning on going to, starting with Southampton and ending in Dublin. The beautiful part about these is that once I open the toggle header, I will notice yet another sublist now, which then allows you to open your sublist as a full list. So now I've opened my Southampton things to do list, and I have all of our different events that we were going to also crossed out as we completed them, and hyperlinked in instances where, there was a map location or a ticket. And then also it was really easy to move things into this list as soon as somebody recommends them to you. So for example, let's say you're going on Reddit and you say, I'm going to a St. Mary's game or a Southampton match. Do you have any recommendations for a pub that we should go to? What people can do is they can simply give you that recommendation. You can go and write it down anywhere in the app. But so for this example, I'll write it down on my day. This is a Southampton pub recommendation. And now I will select that thing by clicking the dot on the right-hand side. I will now click the blue moving truck, and I will take it to the Southampton things to do list. By clicking on the toast, I'm now navigating back to the Southampton things to do list, and there I have my pub recommendation, which allows you to keep up with all of your friends, family, and the internet's recommendations all in one easy place. So that is how writing things down and lists are massively helpful for pre-travel preparations. Not only do I have the option of sharing the list via a universal link, which allows people to open your list on any device with or without the app with no account necessary, but you also can choose to collaborate on the list. Let's actually dive into the first day of our trip so that I can show you guys what it's like to write things down on the go and then have the time and the peace of mind to organize them later on. So the first day of our trip was March the 28th, and so you'll see that my Google Calendar is pulling all of the events that occurred on March 28th, like the yoga class that I did prior to our flight to get nice and limber. And here's where the benefit of writing things down quickly becomes massive. We had parked in a general universal parking lot away from the airport, once again, because we had missed our train. On this list particularly, there is nothing that needs to be reorganized other than potentially just a star for one of my favorite quotes. First day actually in the UK, also Sam's birthday. So Twos is not only where I prepare and plan for my travel, It's also where I write down people's birthdays, a list for the bills that I had to pay before we left. I wrote down our hotel room number, and also like something as simple as the fact that in Southampton on the loudspeaker, they had told Sam happy birthday. How they knew that it was his birthday or that he was in Southampton, I may never know. But I wrote it down because that's not something that you can take a picture of, and it was truly amazing to hear for the first time. But so now let me show you guys how we take this chaos and turn it into simple, beautiful organization. So obviously we'll keep all of our memories and dates on our day because that's just where they belong. But for our recommendations, like Weatherspoons, Miss Peta, the Chapel Arms, the Grapes, Painted Wagon, King's Arms Pub, and Fusion Noodle Bar, we will take those things and we will actually move them into a new list that we will now title Southampton Recommendations. And now that I have this list, I have the ability of sharing it via universal link, collaborating on it. So instead of having to text people for all of the different recommendations that you want to share with them, instead you have one simple place where you've written all of those things down and have a quick and easy way of sharing it. So now let's navigate back to that day that we were in Southampton and see how it becomes even more organized now that we don't have those random recommendations sitting on it. We've got Happy Birthday Sam, 4 hours of sleep, the flight attendant flirting. And like I said, these things can just live on your daily lists for the rest of time because you'll also be able to remember them through our memories feature. So what that looks like is that if I go into my side menu and I click on memories, you'll notice that the things that I wrote down on March the 29th are now being populated. So that not only includes the things that I'd written down that I just showed you, it includes the things that I had moved into that recommendations list, but it also will show you all of the things that you've written down on this day in the past. The fact that I flirted with a flight attendant, what our hotel room number was, all of these little moments that would have otherwise been forgotten, they are automatically shown back to you just by visiting your memories view. So in the past, I would simply let recommendations and memories pass me by, but now that I have twos as my lifesaver, I have the ability of organizing all of these things into very easily found places that I can also share and relive for myself. And it is as easy as opening up twos and writing things down as soon as they're being told to you. So now that I've shown you how you can take all of the things that people are recommending to you, quickly capture them so you can remember them in the moment, and then organize them later on, let me show you what a list looks like once it's completely prepared. Whoa, slow down twos, Joe. First and foremost, if you've made it to this part of the video, thank you guys so much for sticking around and hanging out with me for the past 8 minutes or so. Secondarily, we're going to split this up into 2 parts. So if you would like to see part 2, where some lists are being built, some more stories are being told, then please like this video to let me know that there is demand for a part 2. And last but not least, if you want to sign up with my promo code Joe, you will receive 200 coins towards a premium upgrade of your choosing, whether that be AI, highlight colors, yada, yada, yada. I just want to see if this video is actually inspiring people to sign up for twos and using it for some of their travel needs. Thank you guys again so much. Happy Tuesday.